Alright, Crazy Mike. Thanks for the video because I agree 100% on this. Child abuse is wrong, and I think that even hitting kids, and you were making this clear, even just hitting kids is wrong. I think that any type of hitting is abuse. Now, let's be clear, there are different levels of abuse. I think that when you're just beating on a kid, it's different than giving a kid a spanking. It is. But neither are acceptable in my eyes. I think both, I would even say, need to legally be stopped. The problem is the reason the kids are doing something. They're doing what they gotta be doing out of fear. Not out of respect, out of fear. Is that what we want to instill in kids? And you know what? I've made this argument before. The kids are going to emulate their parents. So what's going to happen is they're going to think violence is okay. They're going to think it's okay when people aren't acting the way you want them to go hit somebody, to go hit someone. Because just because they don't want to be a sheep. They don't do everything they're told. They get what? They get hit. They get physically harmed because they didn't do what they were quote unquote supposed to do or didn't act right, or because their parents were in a darn bad mood and didn't want to deal with their crap. You know what? You are right on the money. If you're going to have kids, you owe it to those kids to give them the best life possible. That's why these women, or these people, not women, women and men, I see it from mothers a lot, but, any type of parent who will just say, nah, I can hit my kid if I want. It's my kid. I can do whatever I... No, it's not your kid. This is not your property. Kids aren't anybody's property. You get that through your dumb skull. Sorry. But it makes me sick to my stomach hearing this from people. Hearing, this is my kid. I can do whatever I want. No. This is a human being. This is a life. You think that just because you created it, that means you get to mess it up? It doesn't work that way. Okay, if you're going to give it a life, okay, you gave it life, whatever. That doesn't mean you have the right to ruin that life. It's a consciousness. In fact, if you're going to give something life, you owe it to whatever you create to give it the best life possible. You know what? When I have kids, and I'm gonna make this very clear. Whoever I do, have kids with, they better know that my kids aren't getting a freaking hand laid on them in a negative way, unless it's restraint. Now, let's be clear here. Restraint is when the kids aren't doing what you say, and you physically have to restrain them. Not harm them, restrain them. This is acceptable because what it's doing is showing them that when they try to do something they're not supposed to do, when they try to go against what they need to be doing, it doesn't let them have that power, I suppose. However, it's not instilling fear when you restrain them. And that's the big difference. Is when you restrain a kid because you have to, it's not out of fear, and it's definitely not out of punishment either. It's just about, you need to do what you need to do. If you're not going to do it, then I'm going to make you do it. And I don't see a problem with that with parenting. I see a problem with, you did something wrong, now I'll smack you. Or you did something wrong, now I'll spank you. That's not right. It makes kids violent. It causes violence in kids. See, I've gone through anger issues, okay? And a big part of it, I think, was even just minor amounts of violence directed towards me in ways, like even small amounts of violence can really cause bad effects. Hitting kids is really wrong, and especially when kids are afraid and all that. It's just not right. Some would say there are ways to do it, but why? There's another way to do it. Violence is just lazy parenting. That's all it is. It's just selfish, lazy parenting. You know what? The kids that were hit the most are probably the ones that were in the most fights. And yet we still, say, oh, well, maybe a little bit is okay. Maybe just in the right situations. No. 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 It's not okay to hit somebody. They're defenseless. Do you know how that feels? Maybe you do. But do you really want your kids in that position? Do kids deserve to be in a position where someone's going to hit them and there's nothing they can do about it? Where someone is putting hands on them and there's nothing they can do about it? That's messed up. And maybe this isn't a logical argument. Maybe if you want to hear a logical argument, wait for me to calm down. But, yeah, it pisses me off that people think that this is right. And there's no excuses. You love your damn kid. You treat him with some damn respect. You show him the love, okay? There is no way to lovingly hit someone. It's what you said, Crazy Mike. You hit the nail on the head. Someone beats their wife because they're being annoying. Oh, but they love them. No. No, if you love someone, you treat them with respect, and that includes kids. It's sickening. Parenting and disciplining is, yes, it's something that needs to happen, but it doesn't have to involve physical punishment, or shall I say, abuse. Even the smallest amount of abuse is still abuse. To put this into perspective for some of you, when someone hits you, whether or not you listen to what they say, do you want to listen to what they say because you respect them? Because you suddenly agree with their sentiments? Or are you just afraid? Or possibly pissed off that somebody put their hands on you? Are you disgusted? Does it make you feel worse about yourself? Does it lower your self-esteem? That's what it does to kids. Kids I know that were not hit as kids generally have much better self-esteem. Did you know that? I've personally found that. Kids I know, even if some of them might, the kids that weren't hit just generally seem happier to me. They seem to be more peaceful, generally. Definitely more peaceful. They handle things with this. Okay? I get on here and I rant. I get maybe angry. And you know what? That's not the only cause of anger. But it causes a lot. And it pisses me off that we as a country still condone this. This needs to stop. What are you going to do about it?